Hi guys. So today you're doing like a full get ready with me. I wanted to show you guys that Morphe Vault from Jaclyn Hill that I had picked up in Las Vegas when we were there at the store launch. So I'll probably be playing with these. There was some controversy over the packaging on this. As you can tell, it looks a lot like her collab with Becca. All of these were delayed launch, and they offered us kind of a free gift if we were to send ours back. I'm really enjoying the palette, so I haven't sent them back. I'll show you kind of each one. This one here is the Bling Boss. So some pretty mauves and purples and plums, a lot of really pretty shimmer shades. If you want like a swatch video or anything like that, let me know. I can totally do that. I tend to swatch up my kids sometimes too, just because it's easier to see on them. Ooh, I like that one. And they kind of have fun with it too. This one here is one of my favorites. It's Ring the Alarm. A lot of the oranges and reds, and again, kind of some shimmer and mattes in each of the palettes, which is really nice. I believe I've tried every single one of these so far. There was some formulation issues is what she was saying. And Morphe had, you know, a warehouse where they ended up getting rid of everything. This one's another one of my favorites. Supposedly they had issues with some of these greens, which I can see because sometimes when you are blending, it's not necessarily an even blend, kind of is blotchy, but you can try to build it up on occasion. I've only had one time where I've had like such a bad issue where I'm like, okay, scrap that, like let's go with something else on top. Sorry, that was the Armed and Gorgeous one, and then this is Dark Magic. Very, very pretty as well if you're trying to do a dark smoky eye. And again, you'll kind of see some more of those greens, which I personally love. I have green eyes, so I like wearing green on my eyes. But definitely you can kind of see more issues with the greens. In my mind, I think we paid $49 for the whole kit, which is 4 palettes, you know what I mean? So that's a great value. Morphe has great pigmented shadows for such a great value. So I didn't see why I would want to send it back. I'll buy the new one if it really is that much better when it comes out. So right now I'm just putting some serum on my face. I had done an exfoliation earlier in the shower, and right now I'm just applying some serum. And because today I'm going with a more matte primer, normally I would put on my lotion on top and let it sit for a while, but because this is already sticky, and we have to let that dry for just a second. I should have done that before I showed you guys the palettes. Silly me. But I'm going to go in with the Primed and Peachy, which is kind of cooling on the face and kind of acts as like a moisturizer for me as well. It's infused with peach and sweet fig cream. Too Faced does a really good job of their products smelling great, and I really like the performance of most of them. As you can tell, I kind of just got out of the shower, so my hair is a little on the crazy side. I will run a brush through it in just a bit. I'm killing myself for putting my wet towel on my bed, but we're just gonna deal with it for a second while I pull this back. When I'm doing my makeup, I hate my hair to be down, so it may look a little funny. Sorry about that. Okay, so let me go in with this. A lot of people just use a little bit of primer. I will tell you, I use a lot, like what I feel is a lot, even though there's some areas where they're like, oh, well, this helps with blurring your pores, so you tend to just put it in those areas. I will put it all over my face. That is obviously not probably what's recommended, but I like my whole face to feel exactly the same underneath whatever foundation product I'm going in with. Later today, we are going to be out in the sun, so with that being said, I am not going to cake my face with the heavy foundation. I'm going to do something similar where I'm putting on a concealer kind of most everywhere on my face, and then I'm going in with my Benefit. I can't throw away this packaging because it's way too cute. But this is the Hello Happy foundation. I've been really impressed with it. It is not a full coverage foundation whatsoever. At most, you might be able to build it up to a medium. And I've never in my life been like, yeah, let's rock with a medium coverage foundation, but it wears so nice and you don't really see any creasing or anything like that later on your face. You can get through a day and it actually looks like natural skin. Okay, so with that being said, this is not yet dry, so we're just gonna fan for a second. So what's your guys' favorite foundation? Do you guys go full coverage? Do you tend to have one brand that you stick with? Do you try different ones? Have you guys tried this Benefit Hello Happy before? If you have, let me know your thoughts. I was really impressed by it. The color range is not amazing, but it is more like a kind of like a tinted moisturizer, I would say. Just because it is, you know, I'm not used to that type of coverage. And I normally prefer a full coverage, cover everything on my face type of thing. So, okay, still rocking this Born This Way. I'm gonna have to buy a new one of these because I am literally using this every single day. So I'm gonna look funny again. If you've seen another video of mine, I've done this technique where I literally cover my face, for the most part, not all of it, but almost all of it, in my concealer, and then I blend it into my face, and then I go in with the foundation. In the summer months when it is super hot, I am just not for, I don't know, like I'm not for trying to like look like a hot mess 5 minutes after I walk outside, and this helps kind of prevent some of that. I mean, granted, I'm a hot mess in general, but having my face look like it's wrecked is not something that I greatly look forward to. I don't know. If you guys have tips and tricks, please let me know. I am willing to try anything. I am open to new ideas. That's, you know, I watch a lot of YouTube videos because I like to get new ideas from different people of how they do certain things and what that ends up looking like. And, you know, what works for some people definitely doesn't work for me. What works for me definitely doesn't work for some people, but it gives us different opportunities to try to see what the results may look like. Okay, so I am just dabbing that into my face. And again, this concealer is so badass that you probably could just wear this as a foundation. I still go over it with, you know, some sort of foundation. The other day, I believe, did I use the Too Faced? I think I used the Too Faced Born This Way with it. So I used both Too Faced products. They performed really well together. I did notice, actually my girlfriend pointed out to me, we went to go grab lunch at work and I had scratched my nose. There's a big old line because like I literally just took off like every ounce of product on my face, which is always fantastic. Okay. So I just want to kind of push this all into my face. Just trying to get like an even tone as much as possible before I go in with the Benefit. Doesn't have to be perfect by any means. I just don't want it to be super thick in one area and then thinned out in a different area. So when you're applying foundation over it, you're seeing more texture on your face than what you really have. You can see I already have like wrinkles and other things that are going against me, so to add added texture to my face is not appealing. Again, I just throw that right on here. I literally douse this right on top. I'm going to use so much more than this. You know, I am not conservative on using my products, which is probably why I go through them so quickly, because I have that whole idea is more is more instead of less is more when it comes to coverage. So yeah, I don't know. But I'll do one half of my face first. Normally you won't see me use a brush when applying foundation unless I'm spreading it out and then patting it in with a beauty blender or a Real Technique sponge or my Morphe sponge or my Flower Beauty sponge. Those are kind of my go-to sponges. If you guys have like a favorite sponge, is it one of those? Is it something else I haven't tried? I've tried like the e.l.f. one. I thought like, you know, e.l.f.'s been like really running the game and doing so much amazing products lately for super inexpensive. Some of their prices on some of their things are actually creeping up a bit, but for the most part, those drugstore prices have stayed pretty true. So you can just see this half of my face has the benefit on. This does not. Again, it does not give full coverage, but it just kind of gives that natural look, which I really actually like, and I did not think I was going to enjoy it. So with that half being done, we're going to go ahead and do the other half. Again, I literally just pour it right onto there and then start blending it onto the face. I blend it and then I go back in and pat it. Maybe just because I think it spreads the product easier or better. I know a lot of people will put foundation on the back of their hand or on like a metal palette. If you guys have seen the new Beauty Blender foundation that they've come out with, you kind of squirt it onto the package itself and then swoop it up, which I think is awesome, and I can't wait to try that. I know there was some controversy, I don't know if you guys have seen it, over the color ranges, which is a little disappointing because until it's in Sephora and I can go look at it, I have no idea. But I am with kind of the general population of, if you're coming out with a foundation and you're a large brand and you already have the startup funds to really invest into your own product and come out with something, you know, new and inventive and, you know, really try to change the makeup game and keep up with everyone else, you have to come out with a good color range. Like, I'm a little bit easier because I am more fair in skin tone, but several of my friends, like, they struggle with trying to find the right foundation, and you know, I don't blame them. I would get frustrated trying to find that right foundation, and not every brand has something that was in their color range. So, you know, I applaud all the brands that really have stepped up their game and are coming out with, you know, several different shades rather than just a few to choose from within a general range. So we'll see how that foundation is. There has been some foundations that, although the color ranges are not amazing, I really like their foundation. So I will use it, but not as frequently, where I was like a, you know, routine buyer. I'll tend to, you know, my face will either get oily in the T-zone or dry, and I have to kind of change up my routine. So I will change from whatever kind of routine I have at that time and switch back to something I know that works. And that's kind of unfortunate because I keep, you know, rooting for them in the back, you know, in my mind, like, hey, please come out, and, you know, it's not too late to fix it. You can still come out with more for everyone else. I don't know. I'm a goober like that. Okay, so I don't know if there's one place on your face that, like, just does not ever want to cooperate. That is my nose. I will put foundation there and it's like, no, I don't want to be there today. So sorry, just not gonna do it. Let me see. Okay. Okay, and because I put the concealer on underneath, normally if I'm doing a full coverage foundation and it's covered everything, I will not go back in, but I do want to brighten just a little bit. So I'm going to go back in with that Too Faced and just put kind of a little bit underneath. And by a little, you guys are probably like, girl, that is not a little. But normally when I put on concealer and it's just a normal foundation, I haven't put on any under, I go a lot heavier than that. But I do want to just try to see if I can brighten up that area and kind of conceal some of those dark circles since I'm not doing full coverage. All right. See how it just kind of brightens just a little bit, because then that'll draw, you know, attention to underneath my eye and then to the eye look when I have it on. And then I do tend to just go around my nose a little bit and like right on top. I will be putting some highlighter there, so hopefully that blends in a little bit better and it just looks like I have a natural glow. Okay, so it's time to powder. And I'm just going right underneath the eye. I will tend to actually bake a little bit longer, where I'm not going to actually take this powder product off for a while, and I'm going to put a little bit more on because I am going to be out in the sun. So this just helps keep the crazy away, although it makes me look really crazy when I'm putting it all on my face. The powder that I am using is just the peach powder by Too Faced. Smells amazing, does amazing things. It's one of my favorite. The Laura Mercier powder is really nice too. I have the compact that I always keep in my purse of hers, just because the loose powder, I still tend to prefer this one. I even like a Mary Kay powder, actually. That's like a foundation powder. One day I'll show you guys. It's very similar, obviously. Loose powders are kind of loose powders, but it just applies the right amount of color on top of any of my foundation to really lock everything in. So I'm just gonna go over the eye area, although I will go ahead and set that with another concealer. Again, I am tending to put more product on than normal, just so it sits on the face. Once I spritz everything at the very end, everything will go in. I'm not hardcore contour baking or anything like that, so you're not going to see any of those lines. I just want as much of that powder product on my face as possible to hold in my foundation for the rest of the day. And then in a little bit, after my eyes are done and eyebrows, I will go in and put a little bit more on and wipe kind of what's sitting there off. So, okay. Let's do eyebrows. So again, Benefit's kind of my go-to. Because I'm going outside, I do also like this product here by Benefit, the Ka-Brow is what it's called. This little guy, I don't know, is this full size or is this the mini? This might be the full size, but both of them I really like, even the mini, like for traveling and stuff like that. But these are kind of my always go-to products. And some days, actually, you know what? I'm not even gonna do a full bang brow. I'm just gonna do my Gimme Brow, which is just the gel fibers. Okay, so actually I'm gonna brush through my brows just real quick, since I'm not gonna define them with a liner. And see, I say that, and then I'm already seeing like where I would want to define, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to show you what a difference makes when you just apply even a little bit of brow product, where you don't have to go full like brow crazy at all. Okay, so back to the Gimme Brow. They discontinued this product for like 3 months, probably even longer, but it felt like years, just because I love this stuff so much. And really, I mean, it doesn't do, you know, it's not life-changing for a lot of people, but when I'm in a hurry and I just need to throw something in my brow, like look, from this brow to this brow, maybe you can't tell the difference, but I can just tell like it actually looks more pigmented. So with any other eye look, it really is drawing attention to that part of your face. And you can go darker in color if you want to, you can go lighter, you can do kind of whatever you want. Today, since I'm going to be out in the sun, it's probably one of those days where I'm not going to want a ton of eyebrow products on. If it's hot and I wipe my brow, I don't want half of it coming off. And this is kind of guaranteed to just stay there, which is awesome. I feel like it has little fibers in it. I don't know if it actually does or not. It's just a brow volumizing, fiber gel. So yes, it does have fibers in it. Maybe I should read my products sometimes when I get them. But again, I just think it adds like the perfect amount of what you need to your face without like doing a full drawn on or colored in brow. I mean, you're kind of coloring it in by doing this, but it's more, you know, natural. It looks just like my natural brow. It still has all the same brow shape that I have, a little bit more fibers, and it just adds a little bit extra to the face. Okay, so with my NARS, sometimes I will paint this on with a brush. Sometimes I'll just go in with a small little beauty blender. This is the smallest one that you can get from Beauty Blender, I believe. I really actually like their blush one. I like to use that one for concealer sometimes underneath my eyes. Even though it's meant for blush and highlight and stuff. I think it's the perfect size because, again, I put on a lot of concealer. Conceal. And this is just that NARS creme brulee concealer that I tend to like to lay down as a eye primer. It's nothing crazy. Okay, so let's see what I want to do with the palettes. I tend to take a pause if I'm getting blown up, just so y'all know. Okay, so, you know, I always want to go for that ringed, or the ring the alarm, but I think I want to mix, let's see what we do with the Armed and Gorgeous and the Dark Magic palettes today. So let's see here. We're gonna go right on in. This is the Armed and Gorgeous. So a lot of those pretty yellows. It's got that green in there. It's got the oranges, light browns. So I'm gonna go in with, and I like how the names are on these palettes, guys. Like, how cool is that? Like, she actually got them on here, like on her original Morphe palette, which was also awesome. She wasn't able to do that, so it's kind of nice to see them here. So I'm gonna go in right with that Access color, which is that yellow color. And I'm gonna need, oh, actually, and they have mirrors, so I'm just gonna use these mirrors here. So this mustard yellow, whatever type of yellow you wanna call it, like, I am living for it. Like, I've really been digging it lately, like, since the first time that, like, I've put on that color on my eye. Like, it just transforms kind of any type of look. You know, if you're doing a red or an orange or whatever, I just think it really does add a little bit extra, which I'm sure that color came out before the Subculture palette, but I really found like that first color that I fell in love with in that particular palette. So when I see them in other palettes, I'm like, ooh, let me try it, let me try it. Okay, so with this, my hand is a little bit further down the brush because I'm not trying to get too pigmented. I do want to blend that color out because I'm using it as kind of that crease in transition color. I will highlight the brow bone later, kind of with a shimmer. But for now, this is just that matte mustard color. I guess I can call it Access because that's the name of it. Okay. So I don't go all the way down to the bottom when I'm doing a crease normally. I'll just play kind of right in that crease area because then I tend to go from that like big fluffy brush to like a little bit smaller, a little bit smaller, a little bit smaller, a flat shader brush if needed. Whatever floats my boat at that time. Okay, so this guy, a little bit smaller. So I'm gonna go in, let's try, should we try Secure or Agent? I think I'm gonna do Agent. I tend to always try to go for those two combos because I think it's really pretty, but this one's just a little bit darker. So we'll see what this does. Yeah, see, same kind of concept that I was looking, where it just kind of looks like a natural, almost like a sunset, you know what I mean? Like you see that pretty yellow to orange if you're watching a sunset or a sunrise. I guess more a sunset, huh? Because that's when it's a little bit darker and a little bit more vibrant in color. Okay, I'm gonna go over here, do that same thing. So I'm still kind of in that crease. I'm just a little bit lower in the crease and really going a little bit more onto the lid space and that outer corner. So this Agent color is doing exactly what I wanted it to do by just darkening it up a little bit and adding a little bit more dimension to the eye. So you can see I'm definitely not done, but just kind of that fade into each other. Those two colors play nicely together. I think so, at least. That's one thing. I never tend to do the same eyeshadow look ever. I don't know why. Well, I guess I do. I mean, I just really like to play with the different colors. So I guess if I'm trying to mimic that same shadow look every single day, then it kind of limits me to what I'm capable of doing, of being able to explore with all the new colors. Okay, so this, I kind of want to get into the green to see if this was the green that I had some issues with or not. This is Potion, and this is from the Dark Magic palette. So this green here is just what I'm going to get into. I'm going to kind of play with it on my lid and see what happens. And I'm hoping that this one is just fine, which actually I'm thinking this one was the troublemaker. We'll see. We'll try to make it work. And sometimes if you can't blend right off the bat, like you can just do that tapping motion to try to get the pigment on the lid. But I'll kind of show you. So on the lid itself, like there's a little bit of splotching, not too crazy again, because I'm mostly tapping at this point. But when I first started to blend, it definitely wasn't blending like the other two colors. And I know nothing about formulations. I know that purples, you know, and reds and greens are some of the harder colors to make based on all the videos that I've watched and all the manufacturing that I've seen, like from afar. But at the same point, I know nothing about it. So, is that true? Who knows? Like, am I bought into that? Yeah, sure. I believe it. You know, like I think any of these colors could be really hard. If it doesn't look like it came from whatever you're using to originally mix it with, then I could see how that could be difficult. So this side, I'm tapping a little bit lighter than the other side, and I'm actually seeing this one blend a little bit easier. So if I do kind of do a little mini back and forth, it might be okay. I'm still gonna have to pack on the color, obviously. And then I'm a little bit higher on that other side, so let me just bring that back up, and I'll go back and forth on both of them until I think it's kind of similar. We'll see here. Okay. Yeah, no. I feel like I'm still higher on this side, so let me just go in a little bit higher. There we go. I think one of my lid spaces is just obviously a different size than the other two, so that tends to kind of mess with my whole dimension of the eye. I'm just gonna go in with a big fluffy brush and just kind of blend again. I just wiped it off on my little BH Cosmetics little steel wool thing, which I'm gonna need to clean soon. Like I try to clean my brushes once a week, and then obviously that thing too, because it tends to have a lot of products sitting on it every week. My blenders, my sponges and things like that, I do try to go in every few days and clean those. I was one of those people where I'd wait like a week or two to clean it, and then like I read somewhere like on Pinterest or something, and it's like, oh, this is how often you're supposed to be cleaning it. I was like, oh my gosh, makes sense. You're putting that onto your face. It's bacteria. Like you want your face as clean as possible, which is why you wash it. You go through your nightly routine, your morning routine. So it totally makes sense. I was just like, oh my gosh, like that was totally not what I was doing. Okay, so let me go back to that other palette, because I think I just want to do a lighter color on the end because we are going outside, so I don't need to be like full dramatic today. I'm gonna swatch the three shimmers. Well, there's 4 in here, but one of them I'm gonna use, I think, for my upper lid space, or underneath the brow. So Guilt Trip, Coin, and Classified. So Guilt Trip, Coin, and then Classified. I just want to see which one I may go. Oh, actually, this one's a little bit darker. Okay, so Guilt Trip, Coin, and Classified are the 3 that I swatched. Coin, although it's darker, actually, I think I might go with Coin, which is the one in the middle. So I am just going to go in with a flat shader brush. I'm going to pack that on kind of up to that area where the green is. And then if I need to go in with some Fix Plus, I will. Sometimes when you use your finger to apply the pigment, it's really nice as well, because you're getting that more packed on and it looks more like when you do your swatches. My issue is I have the acrylic nails right now, so when I do that, it doesn't really tend to be exactly where I want it to be, and it kind of gets all over the lid, which creates kind of a mess. And that's what I want to avoid doing. Okay, so obviously you can kind of already see that pigment on there. I don't even think I need to go in with the MAC Plus, which is something that I really like enjoy about these new palettes, and about the formula that she's used and Morphe's used on some of these colors. Like they're just brilliant, you know. They're pigmented as, you know, a mother ever, which is awesome. Like, look, this is that one eye. I mean, I'll blend all that in together, but that's like without any Fix Plus. It's without any water type substance, and it really is just giving me the color right off the bat, which some shimmers unfortunately don't do that great of a job. This one I have no complaints whatsoever. And I may even take actually that darker shimmer and like pat that over and just to see what it looks like. I mean, whatever. I'm going outside. I'll be outdoors for most of the day, so I'm not really tripping on what the eye situation will be, since most of it will probably sweat right off me. Hopefully not, but more than likely. I'm being realistic. Yeah, see, like it's just doing that really bright shimmer. I can see it all. It could be because of the lighting too, so I'll try to take a picture in and out of the light. I'll try to put it on Instagram to see the difference inside and outside, what those two look like. Okay, let me just wipe that off. I think I'm gonna try that classified shadow, like I said, and kind of pat that over where these two colors kind of meet, and see if maybe I use that to blend the two into each other, so it just doesn't have that harsh of a line. I mean, I could be here all day tapping and patting and tapping and patting, and if I was going out someplace fancy, I probably would be, but since that's not the case, I more than likely will not be doing that today. And that's literally all I'm doing. Like, you can see the motion. Like, I am just patting it right on top of one another. And then what I'll probably do as well, I'm actually gonna bring that over a little bit because I feel like the green's more concentrated on that eye. So I'm gonna go back into that Dark Magic palette with that green. Did I stick my fingernail in that green while we were talking? Because I feel like that green just got butchered. Okay, so back into the potion. I didn't even wipe off my brush, so that's okay. So I'm just gently gonna pat again, kind of in that area, so it keeps that pigment a little bit darker, and just make sure, like, you can tell that I did not do an all over eyelid with just the shimmer. Like, you know that that corner is a little bit darker, so it looks like a mixed eye versus just like a plain one shadowed eye. Okay, so earlier I did not use that secure color, which I was really tempted to. I used that agent, so I think what I'm going to do is on the bottom lash line I'm going to use that secure color and run that along the bottom, and then I may do a green on top of it just to see. Let's see what works, or maybe I'll just do a brown on top of it and see where that goes. Okay, so this brush is literally says a crease brush, but I think this is way too tiny for a crease. You might have a small crease and this may work, but I go for the larger crease brushes. I don't even know what brand this is. I have a lot of brushes from everywhere, so I'm really bad about like keeping brands. Like, if the name's not on it, like who the manufacturer is, then I'm not one to be like, oh yeah, so this is. And some of them have had the brushes for so long, like some of my MAC ones, like you'll partially see the name on it. Okay guys, so obviously, like, I'm more done than you just saw me a second ago. I got a call and I had to take it, so I apologize, but I did just want to kind of get you up to date on what I was doing with my eye look while I was busy doing something else. So I continue just to do my makeup like normal. My bad. So what I did is, you guys, I think last saw me putting this on the underneath of my lash line, the bottom lash line. So Secure is what I used, and then I went over it with Smooth Criminal. I then used the Prowl as like a liner on my top, and I sneezed, so I got mascara everywhere. Hold please, you hear my phone? I'll be back. Okay. Okay, so on the top of my lash line, I use Prowl, and what I do is I just spritz this with a little bit of Fix Plus or any of my setting spray, get it a little bit wet, and then just hold tight to the lash line. Sometimes I will do that just to kind of deepen up that look without going too extreme or using like a real liner. Now, I did happen to sneeze while I was talking to somebody on the phone, and I happened to get my mascara. I used the Bad Gal Bang today from Benefit. When I sneezed, some of that got right underneath my eye there. I don't know if you can see it. But so what I do to get rid of that is if you just use a spoolie, once it's dry, you can get that right off. I've already done it to my other eye since obviously it was tragic for both sides. And then you just take a little brush and then brush any little specks that may have landed. Like I just saw like a little one on this side of my face on the other side. So get that off. I did rub out the powder foundation that was sitting on my face from earlier when we were baking. I did add a little bit of bronzer, my makeup one, my Marc Jacobs one. And then I added some of the Tea Rose, which is the Milani blush, which is just a really pretty pink, I guess like a tea color, like a pretty rose tea color. I have not gone in with highlighter yet, so I was thinking I'll go in with my Anastasia Amrezy, if that's how you say it, pronounce it. I don't really know. I'm like the worst person ever when it comes to pronouncing stuff. So I'll just go in with a fan brush. If you guys haven't seen this one, it's really pretty. It gives kind of a soft glow, which is great. You can spritz this and build it up as well. I tend to like that, that soft glow that it gives you. So I'm just adding it to the tops of my cheeks, into all my normal places. Ooh, see, I might even go in, because that still looks a little dark to me with a spoolie there. And that's with me looking from afar away. And then I may just go in real quick to underneath there to clean it up. Obviously I do blend those shadows together, the two that I used on that bottom lash line. And the one on top, it's meant to look more like a liner. If you guys have never used eyeshadow as liner, it works out fantastic. I highly recommend, if you've never tried it, to at least try it one time to see if that's something that you would like to do. I tend to feel like I have more control on a Q-tip. I know that sounds weird. You could do it on a small brush too, but I just like the way that it looks as far as like the size of it on the eyelid. So give it a shot. Let me know how you like it if you've never tried it before and you give it a try. Definitely something, you know, different to do. My mom had been doing it for years and I never understood why. And then I tried it one time and I was like, oh, I totally get it. Okay, so I'm just using that sponge to kind of go over those areas. Nothing crazy. I don't have a pop-in highlight, but it definitely looks like I'm a little bit more glowy. So with that, I do need a lip color. One of my good friends, Dana, gave me this and I'm using it just to put a couple lippies in. It's meant for like school supplies and pencils and stuff, but it's watermelon and I love watermelon. And she knew that, and she was going away for work and she knew that I would have to bust my butt while she was gone, and she dropped off a lovely package and that was part of it. So I love her, I love it. Okay, so this one I actually really like, Conquel. It's probably not how you say it, but this is just one of my Stellas. I really like their formula on everything. So I'm gonna try to use that today just to see. If it doesn't go, we'll use something else. Oh, should I line my inner? Let's line my lower waterline with this. This is just a ColourPop cream gel liner in Honey Dude. What a fun name. Okay, so Honey Dude is what we're doing, and I'm just gonna pull that down just a little bit. Totally just touched my eyeball. Scared me for a second. Okay. I don't know why I do this too, because my eyes are already watery, and then I go and do this and make them more watery, and then I freak out because then I'm like, oh my gosh, it's gonna ruin my eyeshadow look. Okay, so that just kind of brightens up the eye a little bit, like not anything crazy, but enough to just kind of make sure that you're looking there. If I used a black liner, it would darken it, make my eyes look smaller. This one, you know, makes them look a little bit bigger. I should have done one and the other, and so you could have seen a difference. Oh, lips is what we were doing though. I was looking for a lip liner. And so I know we've used this Kokie one like for the last couple days. I don't really like it, but it does its job, so I might just do it because it's handy. I should probably go through my stuff and switch some stuff out here pretty soon. So I'm using more of my product. Okay, so let's just line, oh, this isn't, did I literally get the same exact color? I got two of these Kokies. You know what? I'm gonna use this mauve one instead. Why not, right? A little bit darker color. This one actually seems to go on a little bit smoother. That's why I think I was really surprised when I used this one for the first time. Maybe I just got a bad one. You know, sometimes you get a random bad product, but who knows? I tend to color in most of my lip to put a pigment down, and then I will go over it with whatever lip color I choose for the day. So we're again using that Stila one. It just kind of has more purple. I guess I probably should have done a more mauve purple look, but if I do this and I put a gloss over it, I just want to see what it looks like. Ooh, what's the eye look? I'm definitely a fan of this color though. I think it's really pretty. I don't think it's really going with the eye look very well. So what I may do, let me take this Buxom gloss. So this Buxom gloss is in Melissa. Actually, it was really cute. My son, we were standing in Ulta one day. He's like, oh my gosh, Mom, you have to get that. And I was like, okay, first of all he ever wants to do when we're in there is to get out. So I was like, why do I need to get that? And he's like, Mom, it has your name on it. And I was like, oh, buddy. So I was like, okay. And so just with that gloss, it just changes it enough to where I could probably rock this and be okay with it. Okay, is it perfect? No, but I think that's what I'm gonna go with. So yeah, with that being said, I'm gonna do something with this crazy hair that's still soaking wet. I swear, if my hair would stay wet all day, like if I didn't actually try to do anything with it. So I'm gonna go do something with the hair. I'm gonna get fully dressed because right now I'm just in a tank top. Obviously, I want to get some type of outfit on for the day to go out and enjoy the rest of my day. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you for joining me. Again, I will take a picture in the sunlight and then one indoors so you can kind of see the difference between the two. I hope you enjoyed getting ready with me today. I hope you have an amazing day, and I will talk to you guys all later. Oh, and if you haven't subscribed yet, please hit that subscribe button. Go ahead and give it a like. I'd love to hear from you in the comments. I know I was talking to you thinking that you're going to talk back to me, so I hope to hear from you guys. All right, I'll see you later. Bye, guys.